First off, Blonde Blazer is best girl and I won't hear any argument, and I also want an apology from everyone who said she was a villain when she is not. With that said, what's good everybody? Gamer Critic back, and today we got another quick review for you on the game called Dispatch, the debut title from the new studio Adhoc. For anyone who doesn't know, this is a brand new studio made up of several talented devs across several different studios, most notably people who worked on some of the best Telltale games, The Walking Dead, Wolf Among Us, and Tales from the Borderlands. They are here, they worked on this game, so I was locked in. I was ready to play this game day one. I've been playing ever since the game launched in October, waiting patiently every week for the next couple of episodes. And what can I say after playing the entire season? It is really freaking good. Now, let me start with this. Your mileage and enjoyment of this game is going to vary. This is a lowercase g in game, and that's coming from someone who loves these type of games. But if someone were to look at this game and say, this is hardly a game, there's barely any gameplay, I would look at them and be like, okay, yeah, fair. I'm not gonna sit here and pretend there is much going on in the gameplay department, and there are a lot of people that view a game as not a game if it doesn't have a decent amount of gameplay. And, you know, I'm not gonna say that they're wrong, that's just their opinion, and I can understand that opinion, truly. Me personally, I love Telltale games. I love The Walking Dead Season 1. It's one of my favorite games of all time. The Wolf Among Us, many people are now coming around and thinking that one is the best of Telltale's games. And Tales from the Borderlands, I still stand by, is one of the funniest video games ever made. So I have always had a soft spot for episodic games, for these Telltale games, and it breaks my heart, not just the downfall of Telltale games to this day, but just how little of these episodic games that we've been getting that are legitimately great, or at the very least at the same quality of what I would expect from the best of this genre. Which is why it is not only great to get a game like Dispatch, but it's freaking refreshing. It's just refreshing to not only just have a good game in this style, but just have a game in this style at all. Now, again, with a game like this, you need to know what you're getting into. I went into this game not expecting much gameplay at all, and the gameplay that was here, I wasn't expecting it to be the best, and that's exactly what I got. The gameplay here is passable, but honestly not too bad. It was actually a nice palate cleanser when we were not actually doing the story. Actually sitting at your desk and doing this sort of light real-time strategy for dispatching your heroes was actually pretty fun in short bursts. I do think there are a few times where they went on for just a little teeny tiny bit too long, ever so slightly, but hardly ever. The point is, when they did show up, they usually never overstayed their welcome, and they were normally pretty fun ways to pass the time when you weren't doing the crux of what you were actually here for. And I've been talking around it this entire time, so let's just cut right to the chase. The real game of this game has nothing to do with the actual gameplay. It is the story, the characters, the writing, and the dialogue choices. And all four of those are just top frickin' notch. Literally all of it. In Dispatch, you'd be hard pressed to find a single character in this game that isn't likable. In Visigow, with a tough demeanor but a kind heart, or Blonde Blazer, this adorable, good-hearted superhero. The Z-Team, a group of insanely likable assholes that yes, start out rough, but through some very well-placed moments actually do start to grow and become better and actually start to work as a team. Chase, the big brother figure to Robert, who probably has some of the best lines of the entire game, both comedic and dramatic. Royd, a massive yet lovable genius who helps to recreate Robert's suit. And speaking of Robert, let's talk about him. Robert Robertson is one of the best characters of this year, point blank, period. He is funny. He has some straight out, laugh out loud, hysterical moments, except for the moments when he's not having legitimately heartbreaking and relatable struggles that people look at and can sympathize with. In fact, what makes him particularly really great is just how well-rounded the guy is. I mean, he's funny, but he has layers. He's somebody that, despite being small, is not scared in the slightest to stand up for himself. In fact, even without the mecha suit, Robert is fucking brutal. He is somebody that gives what he gets, and that makes him really interesting to watch. But I do want to be clear, all the characters in Dispatch are great, and they are particularly great, especially when they are in the same room together. The individual characters are great, but it's when those characters are interacting with each other and bouncing off each other is when you get some of the funniest and most heartbreaking or heartwarming lines in the entire game. One thing that helps really sell these characters is just the fact of how good the game looks. You can tell it's not like a massive budget going around or anything. It's kind of simplistic, but it's not bad looking at all. The animations for all the characters are great. They're so detailed and expressive, and they really help to sell the comedic moments and especially the heartfelt moments. And along with the expressionness of the characters, the animation and the colors is very good. I particularly love the fight scenes that are impressively choreographed and really easy to follow. The colors of this game are really bright and nice to look at. The backgrounds are detailed and very easy on the eyes. Dispatch is just that perfect mixture of video game and TV show. That's exactly what it's trying to achieve, and it achieves it perfectly here. All this praise about the characters, but the characters are truly great because of two things: the acting and the writing. The acting in this game is great across the board, which honestly surprised me. I mean, come on, Aaron Yvette, a bunch of Critical Role people, those are voice acting legends, so we knew they were gonna be good. Even Jeffrey Wright, we've seen him in like Last of Us 2, so we know that he can act. But it's the ones that I didn't expect. It's the Sean McConnell, aka Jacksepticeye, or Alana Pierce, or freaking Moist Critical, or this Thought Squad lady, someone I honestly didn't really know the name of until playing the game. Or the voice actress for Coupe, who honestly, I feel bad, I don't remember her name. I think it's Mayana Baron. But the point is, I was genuinely impressed with how well the streamers and non-voice actors were really able to keep up with them. And then you got freaking Aaron Paul. Again, the reason why I think Robert Robertson is one of the best characters of this year is because I honestly think Aaron Paul gives one of the best performances of the entire year. Now, his voice acting here is much more subdued than something you might expect from like BoJack Horseman, but still, it is that relatability, that deadpan humor that just makes him so hysterical. That's also Laura Bailey as Invisigal, who knocks it out of the freaking park. She is, if Aaron Paul is the best performance of this game, Laura Bailey is the second. But like I said, performances across the board are wonderful. Laura Bailey, Aaron Yvette, Jeffrey Wright, they all brought so much life to their characters, which has played a huge part in making this game so freaking likable. But it's not just the acting. You have to give credit to the writing here. What I look for in a story is simple. I believe the best stories are stories that are able to be well-rounded. The type of story that can go from being flat out hysterical, just laugh out loud funny, but then do a 180 shift and then have some truly thought-provoking, some heartwarming scenes that actually do get you in the feels. And the writers here really did manage to do that. Comedy in a video game is difficult. Comedy in any media is difficult, but I feel like comedy in a video game in particular, it really takes a special talent to write humor in a game, especially humor that is legitimately clever and funny. Dispatch manages to do that. And most importantly, it manages to make a lot of modern jokes that aren't like cringy or eye-rolly. They're just so clever that they can make a joke about Nicki Minaj and Cardi B in a game like this and have it still be flat out fucking hysterical.
Maybe if you gave us a dispatcher who knew what they were doing, you wouldn't have to throw no one out.
Hey, Nicki Minaj, I'm standing right here. You can talk to me.
I wasn't talking to you, bitch. Which weak-ass superhero team did you come from? Fucking Geek Squad?
Doesn't matter where I'm from, Cardi C. What matters is I'm here to figure out who stays and who goes.
Yeah, chill out, lady. Ha ha. Let the man talk.
The writing in Dispatch really manages to walk that line of being absolutely hysterical, but then coming back to earth and being very real and very heartfelt. It's nice to see all these characters grow as individuals and become better. Dispatch even manages to do something outside of comedy that I don't even see many games do that well. And I'm gonna be honest, it's romance. Now, let's be clear about something. I'm not saying there aren't nice romances out there, right? But I feel like those are kind of different. It's different from having like an RPG romance that, yes, has some nice lines, but is a little more entrenched into the gameplay. It feels a little more like a gameplay factor than an actual natural story beat. But Dispatch is so well written with so many likable characters that the romances that you get in Dispatch are not only just monumentally sweet, but they also feel honestly very genuine, to the point that there is an online beef going around about Invisigal versus Blonde Blazer. Personally, I went with Blonde Blazer, but I'm just saying, you could have picked any of the options and you would have been introduced to a wonderfully written, developing romance story on either side. And the fact that I can say that for both Invisigal and Blonde Blazer, I really think is a testament to how well romance is done in this game. But who am I kidding? We're all wrong. Because the best character, according to the internet, is Malevola, and the internet never lies. And I think that's really important. What I really like about Dispatch more than anything is that it is an adult superhero show that's actually pleasant, if that makes sense. Superhero shows or media for adults have really fallen into this trend of being just like bleak and dark and sad, really showing the dark side of having superheroes. They're monsters, they're evil. Dispatch is, yeah, I'm not gonna act like is really not mature. It gets mature and serious, but it's also just pleasant. At the end of every episode, I actually felt happy. And I think that is just a big thing that can't be overlooked. This is just a very feel-good game. It's a pleasant game. It's a game that after you walk away from every episode, you just walk away with a big fat smile, whether that be a smile of genuine laughter or a smile of just pure heartwarming feels. And to have that in a game like this, that is really what I cherish most about Dispatch. I walked away from this game after 13 hours just feeling happy. I felt satisfied. I felt like I watched a fulfilling, well-told story with incredible acting and wonderful writing. It was funny, it was heartfelt, and it is, in my humble opinion, one of the best surprises of 2025. Until Telltale, or excuse me, if or when Telltale eventually gets its shit together, well, I am more than satisfied to have Adhoc Studios carrying the torch, because if this is the quality that we can expect from these people, I think we're gonna be eating real good. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you enjoyed the video, like and subscribe. It helps a ton. If you want to stay up to date with what I'm doing, you can follow me on Instagram. That's @thegamercritic. Be good people, and I'll talk to all of you very soon. All right, peace.